All we know for sure is his body count. 152 victims, and rising.
Wait, what? I knew he never caught Cicada, but he never stops killing.
Flash did everything he could. But Cicada killed more people than Zoom, or even the Red Death. And the way the city saw the Flash, his legacy, it was never the same.
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pager, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. So this week on The Flash we journeyed into the memories of both Grace, that being Cicada's niece, as well as Nora Allen, where we, specifically in Nora's memories, saw and heard and found out some pretty interesting things. The biggest of these for most people would have been when Barry and Iris followed a young Nora in these memories into the Hall of Villains, which we had previously seen and been to in the beginning of episode 3 or 4. That time around it said Cicada was never caught and was a big mystery, but this time around things had changed in regards to that. But the big thing that came from this was when they talked about Cicada's kill count, which was 152 and rising, which Captain Singh says is more people that were killed by Zoom or even Red Death. Now the name drop of Red Death I think caught everyone that is sort of familiar with the character a bit off guard, as it is like just, well, a strange type of character to be brought into a show specifically about the Flash. I think if you see anyone going, yeah, I had a feeling they would bring him into the show, he was my #1 pick for next season's villain, then they were obviously talking out of their ass and completely lying. But who is Red Death? What is their history and story in the comics? Who could Red Death be on the show? When could we expect him? And what should we expect from him? Well, let's go over all of that in this video, starting with the comics history of Red Death. Now, Red Death originated from the DC Metal storyline in the comics where on another Earth, that being Earth -52, Batman was formerly the hero with Gotham City who fought crime with these various versions of Robin. However, the city took its toll on the Dark Knight and took the lives of all the Robins, forcing Batman to seek more extreme ways to prevent the crimes he felt he wasn't fast enough to stop. This led Batman to set his sights on his world's Flash, determining that he could use the Speed Force better than the Speedster himself could. Batman went on to take out all of the Flash's rogues, I think Captain Cold, Heatwave, Mirror Master, and I think Weather Wizard were the people he took out. And he ended up confiscating their weapons, so the Cold Gun, the Heat Gun, the Mirror Gun, and the Weather Wand. And he used all of these against the Flash in a fight for his powers. Now, spoiler alert, even though it shouldn't have to be, said, Batman wins and straps the Flash to the hood of the Batmobile, which is sort of merged with the Cosmic Treadmill, I know, pretty weird, and drives both of them into the Speed Force, absorbing the Flash as well as his powers. Now, when Batman returned from the Speed Force, he donned a new costume and became Red Death and began murdering members of his own rogues gallery throughout Gotham City. Now, we are going to skip over some of the story here because it's just filler, but essentially, stuff happens which has Red Death make his way to Earth Zero or Earth Prime's Central City to challenge this world's Flash. Now, the Flash of this Earth is saved by Dr. Fate, hallelujah, but does leave Red Death to conquer the city in the meantime. After only a week, roughly, in this central city, Red Death had brought about a new Speed Force storm, which is a big thing in DC Rebirth, throughout Central City that was made from his own corrupted connection to the Speed Force, which aged anyone who touched it to death in just seconds. Now, Red Death is eventually stopped when the Earth Prime Flash manages to get back to Central City, in the process causing this wave of energy that has a side effect on Red Death, which changes him into this now pimped out gold armor, but he is reborn as the Barry Allen of Earth -52. The one that was swallowed up by Batman originally. Now he helps our Flash out from Prime Earth, and from memory he is inevitably killed by the main different Batman in the story, which is the Batman Joker combo thing. In regards to the powers of Red Death, you get the standard Speedster abilities we're used to, but also he can generate bat-like Speed Force energy construct things that produce these dangerous effects if they come into contact with others. These constructs infect people and cause them to wither away painfully, as if worn down by just thousands of years and stuff like that. It's almost as if they were touched by, well, death. Maybe Red Death. Now, with his enhanced intellect, Red Death learned to create, more complex constructs from the Speed Force, such as being able to command activated nanotech, which was powered and fueled by the speed energy he gives off. Now, though powerful, one of the side effects that Red Death has is that due to the fact he is like an amalgamation of both Barry Allen and Bruce Wayne, Barry is always trying to break free or take control, which, if you're in the middle of doing something pretty important, isn't the greatest thing to be going down. But I guess the big question is, who will Red Death be on the show? Because even though I think it's obvious, like, I'm sorry to wash away some people's dreams here, it won't be an amalgamation of Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen. Like, if it is, then wow, but it's very, 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 very times 6-9 unlikely to happen. The best way to describe how the show will portray Red Death, in my opinion, is maybe similar to what Arrow did in season 5 with Prometheus, but a bit more comic accurate. But what I mean by that is that the show will just, use the name of Red Death, but change many aspects of the character. Actually, now that I think about it, they'll probably just mix a lot of what they did with like Zoom, Savitar, and even the Thinker on the show. Use the character, keep some elements of the character, but change many aspects of the character in order to fit them into the story that they want to tell on the show. So really, it's just your normal Flash villain, I guess, outside of Reverse Flash and Cicada. Anyway. But really, that could be seen as a good thing because it would give us another mysterious, master villain on the show, which everyone seems to love. Some people didn't like how, from the get-go in season 4 and now season 5, well, I guess in episode 2 and season 5, that we know exactly who the villain is this season. We know their actual name. Obviously, there could be a big twist coming this season with Cicada, but that twist is yet to happen. If it will happen, then okay. Red Death will most likely be someone from the past, from another Earth that we know of, or in a very cliche mold for superhero television, it will be a new character we are introduced to at some point in the season, spend time with them, and then like, oh my god, Pikachu meme face, it's someone we know, that's the villain. It is also important to remember that Crisis on Infinite Earths is happening next season, so that could be a major factor in the introduction or setup for Red Death. Maybe when some Earths merge, that creates Red Death. And I guess the other substitute option that I'd be silly to miss out is that Red Death could be like an Oliver Queen merged evil Speedster. Like, that wouldn't be surprising to see either. In regards to when we could or should expect him, Cicada looks like he will be the main villain for the rest of the season, which brings up a question around Reverse Flash and what his role is. Is he here like literally just to set up Crisis on Infinite Earths, or is he the villain for all of next season? It is hard to tell at this point. But let's say, for argument's sake, let's say Reverse Flash is only relevant for the first half of next season as we lead into the Crisis crossover. They could bring Red Death into the back half of next season as a result of Crisis, as I was saying before. Because we should treat the little teasers in, the Flash Museum scene like the same as like the DeVoe name drops in season 3 from both Abracadabra and then Savitar Barry himself. They were intentional and, used to set up that character, get people Googling him, get, familiar with the character and all of that. And this just feels very similar to that. Obviously, it could just be a little reference, but most things are intentional on these shows. It's pretty rare you get like an Easter egg or a major reference or even just like a little bit of setup and it doesn't pay off. That usually doesn't happen. And this would have to be the same. Like, this just seems like something that's going to play out, whether it be next season or a future season, but most likely next season. But as I was saying before, the thing in the comics in regards to Red Death's powers that are more advanced, I guess you could say, over a normal Speedster, are the constructs he can make, which can rapidly age and make a person wither away. And I think it would be cool if the show did something like that with him. It'd be a bit grim, like it would be a bit graphic in certain parts, but it would be fitting with the name of, Red Death. But they would have to figure out a way to make it, new and fresh and stuff like that. Like, who would he be killing? Would he be killing metahumans like Cicada's doing, Speedsters, sort of like what Zoom was trying to do, or just random people? Like, what's he going for? Because we know that he didn't kill more than 152 people. That we know that. There is a maximum. Yo, Red Death, you can't pass 151. Once you get there, stop, please. Don't kill any more. And yes, I know the future can change, but at the moment, those are the stats we're given, and that's what we have to go off. But maybe the storyline could be about maybe corrupting the Speed Force and something along those lines. I just think us as fans just want something fresh, something new, something interesting, something that this season sort of presented but has yet to deliver. I know we're only 12 episodes in, but it's still yet to deliver on maybe the promise that a lot of people expected this season. But thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below. What were your first thoughts when you heard the name Red Death show up? Were you familiar with the character before? Or did you go on a Google hunting session after you heard that name? Let me know all of your opinions down in the comments section. And as well as like, how do you think you would like them to present the character on the show? Would you want it to be, you know, Bruce Wayne, Barry Allen combined, or do you think they're going to go the more realistic option and change it up? And if you had to give an early prediction, who's under the mask of Red Death? Who do you think it is? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. Be sure to go check out all my social media. It's linked down in the description down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.